Welcome to North Cork to the North Bank. I'm John. As always, I'm joined by John, Paul, and Keith. Tonight's episode is completely unscripted. So, just before we're talking football, so literally anything can come up. Right then, so who's got something on the mind, John?
Okay, so if we start with Urin Timber, he came back in his walk-in video into the training ground. They stopped Ben White, and Benny White was like, I'm fine, and he's fine. 2 days later, you see big strap-ons on Benny's knee. But then they asked Urin Timber, and he says, I'm not 100%. I'm going to get there. I'm going to be okay for the start of the season, but I'm not great. Then today it broke. He flew back to London to see somebody, but don't worry, there's nothing wrong. Sure, it's just an appointment. And then it leaked that he had a small minor operation. Now, a minor groin operation is 6 weeks old. Then you start coming back slowly from that. So if he's coming back from that, he hasn't moved the other muscles in his leg in that time out. So there's build-up to be done there. So he's behind the curve, the 8 ball. If he breaks down again, the chances are Benny White's going to break down again. We need a right back. We also have sleeve out, so we need cover for Mascara, who's going to be filling in. So we probably need 2 defenders. And there's no guarantee Calafiori's going to stay fit over the other side. So we probably need 2 defenders. Bruno Guimaraes is probably coming in. We need a left winger, and we probably need a striker to replace Jesus, so he should go. We have a lot of work to do, and time is a ticking.
What you think, Paul?
Yeah, definitely. We can't dispute that. There's Konza was in the frame there for a bit, but the money seems to be very steep for him, doesn't it? That they're saying we're not going to talk before you give us 60. So that's funny money. Like there's a lad at Sporting they're having a look at as well, isn't there? He's a younger player, I think. Just his name.
He's a right back, I think, isn't he? Fresneda,
that's the one, yeah. So they're looking at him. That seems, I'd say, you'd get better value there. Whether he's better than Konza is another question. I haven't seen enough for the guy to know. Yeah, that's kind of concerning when what John says there, like the 2 of them carrying knocks. But like we managed last year, were we lucky though? That they weren't really frocked together, if you know what I mean, until the very, very end of the season when they were both missing. But
sure. Like we had to play Mascara in Champions League final from the start.
Yeah, and he was absolutely fine. But at the same time, it was that one thing that an elite player did to him, wasn't it? That left him, fouling Kvaratskhelia for the penalty. And I think we discussed it on an earlier pod that like that was possibly, if we had one of the lads, would they have been done like that? Who knows? Hey, look, it's all it buts and maybes. But yeah, concerning. Yeah, for sure. As opposed to the other stuff. Look, I don't think the Vinny deal is dead at all. Like, we're hearing conflicting reports, but it wouldn't have been mentioned in the first place unless there was something there. You know what I mean? So I think there's there.
Like there's some truth in it. There's some truth in it. And
with Jesus gone, could we possibly see Winieri fall in as the 3rd striker without purchasing one? If we're going to keep on to him, is that a possibility? I'm not just putting it out there because like. We have the 2 that we have, and the 3rd striker is a guy that how much are you going to really use him?
Well, I think the 3rd striker is Marino.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, so maybe we're sus there. And if we do use Ethan in that position, then like he looks like he can do it. Like he looks like he has an eye for goal, could play through the centre. And it's been mentioned before that I think it's Arteta himself said he thinks that his final position could be a striker. So this could be a blooding season as well. Like.
Yeah. And physically, he's a bit older.
Now, yeah.
More muscle there over the summer.
And like he's fast. He's not like uber fast, but he's fast enough to be a frontline attacker, and he can bang off both feet. And he's just,
very technical.
Yeah, he's a very good player. When you consider the guys we're being linked with, and anyway, yeah. But I would be concerned. John's right there about the right back scenario.
What about the guy who's training with Crystal Palace at the moment? Ex-Arsenal player.
Yeah, Tomiyasu.
Yeah,
I think he's actually signing up with them now, isn't he?
Oh, is he?
Yeah. So
short term, wouldn't have been a bad move.
No,
it's a bit of. I think it's a bit of a fucking crisis, really. Like as you said, 2 boys could break down anytime. We're left with Mascara and Jermaine Salmon, and then you're thinking, we're in shit here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like Mary Sam. I think he's actually a fabulous football player.
He's going
just
to be
young. He's on the young side, obviously, but he's fabulous football player.
he looks physically light, you know?
Yeah, but like he's still only a kid. Do you know what I mean? He's still young. He's like 17 or something. Do you know? But like if you look at the development of the players, do you know, like John would tell you more about. Like we don't even know. Like Ben White saying, yeah, the heavy strapping could be precautionary. We don't know that Ben White has. It's just a precaution. He's probably playing with it. Like a lot of players will play with strapping on you, but you won't see it anymore because if the socks pull up so high and the shorts are extra long and baggy, or you know what I mean, you don't see any strapping anymore with them. You know, John, have you anything else on transfers, incomings, outgoings, anything like that?
No, nothing we haven't already spoke about. Bruno Guimaraes was never going to be in the picture while he was on holiday. So once he comes back, that starts rolling.
But he's on holidays the same as our two Brazilian lads, kind of the same long, kind of that length, isn't it?
They're coming back Friday.
Friday, that was it, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, nothing was going to happen there while he was on holiday anyway. It looks like Alvarez, doesn't it? All roads lead to Alvarez.
Probably, yeah. We don't know.
We don't know.
The thing was with the Vinny thing. The story was broken by Sky Sports News that he was signing a new contract. The Gary Cottrell exclusive, and I was like, and people were panicking. They were like, "Oh, he's staying there and everything." And I was like, "It's like, no." So the normal fella is like Fabrizio and Arnstein, who like Arnstein doesn't tweet things unless there's good facts behind him. He doesn't just randomly throw everything out there. There is substance to his stories when he puts them out there, his tweets. And I was like, he's tweeted nothing. He hasn't said anything. And John, you always say it, like Arnstein is the guy you listen to, you know, so he's the fella that when he says things, there's no other crap. He just said the talks. You know, so the story from Sky, I'm like, and then people were saying, "Oh, Gary Cottrell's friends with Mourinho and all this crap." And then it's like I remember when Real Madrid played Benfica, and Mourinho was the manager. With that whole scandal with the rest, where your man covered his mouth and said something. So Mourinho didn't back him that time. John, you'd have more than that when you remember that, don't you?
So I posted about it. It was so Mourinho said afterwards, I've heard both sides and I'm going to stay impartial here, but I told Vinny that he shouldn't have celebrated in the way he did when he scored that goal. So Vinny then posts on Instagram going, all races should be whatever and it's terrible and pretty much everybody go fuck themselves type of thing. So yeah, there's no love lost there with the two of them.
Mm-hmm. And like I was thinking, was this again where the story comes from? It's Sky. Sky don't break anything like that. They're never known for breaking anything like that. They normally say sources from other people. They're saying this is their story, and because it's such a big story. And the thing is, I think is because it's Arsenal, it'll send Arsenal fans go, God, I can't believe Arsenal is going to even try for him and all this stuff. I think it's media driving clicks towards them. That's my take on it.
Yeah. Well, like, you know, even if you look at where we are now compared to where we were a few years ago, the fact we're even in the conversation and it can be a serious option that Vinny Jr. comes to Arsenal. No, 3 or 4 years ago, we would have been laughed out of room. These days, that's perfectly fine because we're the champions of England. We've brought ourselves back up to the top table. So we do go now for the top players. We mightn't overspend on top players like what Chelsea do. You know, like they overspend for Morgan Rogers. They've overspent for players for a couple of years now because that's their business model and whatever. But if we see value in the market and we go, yeah, you want 100 million for this player and that meets what we think he's going to be a game changer, yeah, you get the money. We'll make it happen, you know? So that's why I don't think it's dead in the water at all. I don't think it's dead in the water till I see him sign a contract with Real Madrid. Apparently it's about image rights that the club get 50% of his image rights, which essentially pays his wage, you know, on their behalf. You know, they get that money and then they give it to him and that's his wage covered. And he wants the same parity as Mbappe and, you know, and that's like Mbappe gets every penny from his image rights and he's on better wages. So
like we spoke about this in the last pod where I think even like if he signs for Arsenal, the shirt sales are going to smash any record Arsenal are going to have ever.
Yeah.
And it will actually smash them by quite a distance.
Miles.
So like even Keith, you said he'd be the biggest signing ever. I think it'll be the biggest signing in the Premier League because we spoke about it. Could you remember someone that was a massive signing for one club? We kind of like we've had a week to think about it. Does anyone have? Could you throw someone's name out there that you would go?
Asprilla
when he signed for Newcastle that time.
That was a
was
big
massive.
signing. That was a big signing.
Shearer. She's a Shearer.
No, but that was
a world record, was it?
That was internal. You know, we're talking about an external player coming in from La Liga, like as in guys that are regarded as the top players in the world.
Like we're talking elite player into a team like this.
I think one of you guys last week mentioned Juan Sebastian Varane. Said that. I thought that was a good show because he was regarded as like one of the top 2-3 midfielders in the world. And
only one. Sorry, Paul. The only one I could think of that after that, because when he said Varane and Keith said Varane, I actually thought it was Pogba when he first signed for United.
Yeah,
like he was at Juventus and he was baiting goals and he was flying.
He's superb.
And he was like one of the top players. They paid like 90 million or something, wasn't it? He was
in fairness, Chelsea have had a good few. They've Crespo, Shevchenko.
Yeah, but I think like even Shevchenko was past prime and all that stuff. Like even Crespo was a good player. He wasn't like we're on about Vinny now. Vinny is elite player.
Vinny is number one. He's top.
Yeah, I agree. Like, do you know what I mean? He's an absolute elite player. Do you know? Like, if you're thinking,
could we say he's the best player that's possibly available to buy in the world right now? I know you could argue that every player is available to buy, but being realistic, like, you know, Kvaratskhelia isn't available. Jude Bellingham's not available. Mbappe is not available.
Like,
Vinny Jr.
not available. That kind of shit.
You know what I mean?
That stuff. Yeah,
that's where we're going.
He's tier one anyway.
Tier one for sure. S tier. What do you think, John?
What do you think, John?
The best player to come in from a foreign country into England was Thierry Henry back to Arsenal on loan. Mic drop.
No, but anyway, yeah.
Well, so would you say
you're telling me Vinny's better than Thierry Henry?
Was Thierry Henry gone past it a little bit? Was he just?
Oh no, you didn't. You're doing this thing. You're adding arf to the question.
No,
you asked the question. You got an answer.
No, I got an answer. I'm just adding to your answer. I just want to know a little bit. Do you think, like, when he's 26, Henry was how old?
You're moving the goalpost, John. You asked the question. You done this now with the Emirates team pick.
I give you that one. I got Sack in, and you wanted Bergkamp and Ray Parlour.
Sol Campbell.
Yeah, Sol Campbell.
I just thought of one, actually. I just thought of one.
Go on.
And we're not going to like it, but he was an incredible footballer and he came at a very good time in his career. Jurgen Klinsmann to Spurs, and he was brilliant. You know?
Yeah.
He was a top.
That was 94, am I right?
No doubt. It was after
the World Cup. The World Cup in 94?
I think it was after
the
94 World Cup.
They signed Dimitrescu, Dan Petrescu, and
they signed
Vicky
5
Barmby.
players. Yeah, they signed no defenders and elite attack, and they got absolutely hosed. Ozzy Ardiles football.
Didn't Klinsmann won Player of the Year that year, Paul?
Yeah, because he was brilliant. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think he won Player of the Year, the English Player of the Year or something that year. The German, I think there was
and
something.
then he went off for a good club.
German, I think. Yeah.
It's funny and then as Spurs were deducted points that season, they were deducted points for financial irregularities. We're waiting on Man City to get deducted points, and Spurs were doing it way back when. Imagine if the social media was going back then.
That was Alan Sugar you're at. Was that right?
Yeah. And he pulled up on his yacht in the south of France, and he got Klinsmann to come down, and he there and then on the boat made a deal with him. Yeah. It was crazy. Crazy money he gave him. And at the time, he was fighting a point deduction for financial problems, and he was able to square all that away, sign all these players, and move from probably 8th to 7th in the league, and go maybe bankrupt and well done. Great moves by Spurs. There was no social media, so I don't know what hashtag Spursy was back then. It was probably here's a potato.
I have another player. Ravanelli.
I have one probably just slightly better than him. Maybe Gianfranco Zola.
Was he gone? Was he kind of past his prime? Small.
He wasn't my shit. No way. No way.
I think he became a star more. He became more a star in England than in Italy. I know he played for Parma and he was good, but he wasn't a massive mainstay in the Italian team.
He was gone from the Italian scene, though, wasn't he?
Fuck's sake.
Yeah.
You saw the state of the Italian scene. They hired fucking Paolo Maldini and Leonardo to bring in Guardiola. And they last 16 days, and they ended up appointing fucking Mancini and Ranieri. It's like, Jesus Christ almighty. State of that?
As bad as the FA.
Nearly.
Nearly.
I don't think any of the names we mentioned after Henry were good players that were world top Vinny Mbappe players, Joe. I think we went off and like none of those players like good. We knew them in England because they came here. Yeah.
That was just a part of their little famous.
I do think Klinsmann fits in the category as an A-tier player. He was a brilliant player. He did it everywhere he was.
Paul, Jurgen Klinsmann was signed by Spurs in July 1994 from Monaco for £2 million.
Jesus.
There you go. And where did he go after that?
94 was big money back then. 2 million was big money back then. But did he go to Munich?
I think he went to Inter Milan first.
No, he was Inter Milan in the early 90s and 80s, late 80s.
Someone bring it up on the Google machine.
There was him. There was Sammer, and there was Lothar Matthäus. There were the three Germans with Inter Milan.
So he started with Stuttgart Kickers, then went to Stuttgart, then he went to Inter Milan, then he was at Monaco, then he went to Spurs, and then he went to Bayern Munich, and then after that Sampdoria, then back to Spurs on loan.
Who was his manager at Monaco?
It was our boy. Was it?
No, he was Wenger, I'd say.
No, he was he in Japan that time? That's a good one. No, wouldn't be far off. We'd have to go. That's Wenger. For Google.
Arsene Wenger was his manager at Monaco.
Yeah. So we get on the blower to him there and see if he thinks he was an A-tier player. You know, connections and all that kind of crap.
Yes, he was very good.
Whilst he was smoking on the bench.
He got a bit sidetracked. But this is a ramble anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just it's unscripted and thing goes. Just
Let's talk about Dublin Tuesday and Wednesday. So 3 of us are going to Dublin Tuesday and Wednesday. We're going to the Arsenal Vision podcast. We're going to the Arseblog Arsenal Vision night. And I'm in for 3 tickets to go to the Guinness House to get us in for a free night of beer, and 2 Irish legends will be in attendance. There's probably Liam Brady and Dave O'Leary.
Which Irish do drink the most?
Yeah. But this is it. So
who's going to get kicked out first?
Wait, here's the logistics, people. Listen to me. Paul, we're going to have to tell you 15 minutes before the time that's your time. So to get you there on time, because you're always late, we have to get to those podcasts, right? Then we have to get 10 minutes away by taxi to the Guinness House to the free drink and Irish Legends. Earlier in that day, we're going to the Arsenal training to meet the players. Now we get to meet them for, I reckon, about 1 minute before security throws us out. So pick the actual player you want to meet before they realise you're not there for a round of golf, right? So I'm not going to give away the location, right? We're going to meet the Arsenal players in the morning. We're going to the podcast, Arsenal Vision Arseblog. Then we're going to the Guinness House to meet 2 Arsenal legends. Then the next day, the Premier League trophy and another Arsenal legend, probably a Ray Parler or a Addy there or something like that, is going to be in a pub inside Dublin from 12 o'clock. If we start drinking at 12, we're not going to see much of this friendly come 7 o'clock that night, 7:30.
7:30, yeah.
I can only imagine the voice notes I'm going to get.
So
I've never been so happy to drive.
So that is our itinerary for Tuesday and Wednesday.
Keith, are you taking the pony with the blue boys?
I'm taking the pony, yeah. But we can't go on the motorway though. No horses allowed.
You're all right. You've got pull. You're all right.
I might give the old meet the players a bit of skip, but I like the rest of it. You can meet me in a pub. I'm not hanging around to meet no young fellas. They're fucking third string. Pick that up there. Although you might meet Christian Solis, I suppose.
Max Doman, you don't want to meet Max Doman? Or no?
Gabriel Jesus, you're a favorite player. Dakars is going to be there.
If anything, it's on the way
up.
That's
it. Yeah, all that stuff. All that stuff is wasted on me. I like to watch the football and all that, but they're kind of.
The last time I got Heath to take a picture of me and Declan Rice, he couldn't fucking take the picture. John had to get one from the side. Like he struggled. Declan Rice was actually looking at him, going, "Will you ever take the fucking picture?
Can he work a camera?"
Yeah.
But another thing that I just saw there on Threads before we got online there. Croupie's out for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah,
we would Bournemouth. I thought he would have been a fantastic signing as well.
He will, and he'll be even better next year.
He's not.
Yeah, imagine if he pulled the Vinny deal off. It would be, I swear, like every other fan base will go into meltdown if we pull that deal off.
I know,
Stand
like
out.
the whole the spectacle of Vinny and all that. But who do you think is the most important player on the pitch? Do you think it's going to be Bruno or do you think it's going to be Vinny? I think it's Bruno myself.
The fact that you just said Bruno and Vinny, that told us everyone what the answer was going to be. It was going to be Bruno. You could have said Declan Rice. You could have said you turned 2 or 3 players in there with him. You could have said Saka, Rice, Vinny, Bruno, but you just said Vinny and Bruno. Yeah, John?
Do you know who I want? Pio Esposito. If we sign Pio Esposito, we win the league again and we win the Champions League. Because the guy is a runaway train of a battering ram of a centre forward who will get his settling in time because we have Gyökeres and Havertz. And then once he gets his feet under the table, he becomes the main man for the next 8-9 years. The guy is absolutely brilliant.
If he gets if he gets an infection in the stigmata, we're fucked.
Oh yes, yes.
He rocked Saliba and Big Gabby out of their boots when he played against them. The guy looks $1 million. Inter are hiding him. I spoke to an Italian guy I know, watches Serie A every week, and he said Inter Milan are hiding him. They're holding him back because they don't want the other teams to come in and take him. He's that good. They want to tie him down to a big long-term deal, and it's dangerous because everybody wants this guy. He's 19, I think he's 18, 19. Wait till he's 22.
Yeah, but is that 35 starts, Keith? 35 games can be very misleading. You could be coming out for 15, 20 minutes and all that kind of crack,
No, they're purposely holding him back for game time. And plus, look, the 2 strikers ahead of him are phenomenal strikers.
Yeah,
so the two ahead of him are hard to displace as well.
One of them's the captain as well, so...
Yeah. No, the guy, that's who, if he signs tomorrow, I'm spending the £130 on the shirt and I'm waiting the 3 months. No, because he's 2 years left on a deal. I think he hasn't signed the new one. He's on about 10 grand a week as well. So he's only a youth player coming to the first team. So he's not, it won't be huge. It might be huge if you want him now to beat the queue, but it's 60, 70. It's not over 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know? Like, I know you've been on about him for a while, and I remember that Inter game when he came on and they were launching balls and he was taking them on the chest and everything. He looked good, so, but again, Italian football is different. Compared to...
He had kind of Zlatan strength, didn't he, in that game? That kind of immovable man, just bang.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, it was, I trust John's judgment. He's got a great eye for a player and he watches more than Arsenal games. Unlike myself, I watch just a bit of football plus all Arsenal then. So, yeah, if he's seen something in him, it's definitely something to be considering. The club will consider. From us, too. I mean, they have scouts that are far beyond what any podcaster can ascertain.
Yeah, that goes back to the medical side of it as well. Like, we don't know what condition these players are in either. So, John, we all seen the clips of the train and camp in Girona. They're playing them at the weekend, so they're showing Arsenal are showing the little clips of Salas where he's taking guys on and he's bullying fellas and everything. He looks decent enough. Like you were saying, like he's a strong physical player, but he's got pace and he's direct as well.
Girona played tonight. They drew 3-3 with a team. They seem to be the home of the prayer club, and they finished way down the end of the Spanish league this season as well. The backstory to the club? So, Man City could only pay Pep Guardiola a certain amount of money, but Pep's brother got given big shares in the club, Girona. Then Pep got a few shares in the club, and they are majority shareholders of the club that was then bought by a big place, and they got loads of money via shares. Isn't that strange?
Isn't that the club they got Savinho from, is it?
Yeah. Isn't it mad that a gift to Pep Guardiola's brother from Man City owners via other entities, and then got corporate takeover, and those shares were worth millions upon millions, and Pep shared all that money. It sounds a little bit fishy, doesn't it?
It's
like another way to pay Pep more money.
Yeah. Man City doing something controversial?
Yeah. I hope it all comes back to bite us.
I
hope Chelsea gets sink as well, and I hope Villa sink, and I hope UEFA step in on the Rodgers and the Garnacho swap deal for the inflated prices. I hope they step in and say, hey lads, that's a swap deal, not a transfer. Worth nothing to you. And Rodgers be worth 0 in the bank.
It's all like it's all where they can find a loophole in the rules and all this crap. Like they've like people have gone on about the Man City charges, and it seems to like nothing's coming out, and people are constantly saying, "Yeah, but Man City are spending this and spending that," and then they have 115 charges and nothing comes out. Do you know what I mean? Like they're looking. They spent 116 on Elliot Anderson, and now they're looking to do nearly another 100 million on Buadi. They're looking to have that done.
Mm.
Do you know?
I have a theory about Man City and they're buying those players because as good as they are, and they're good players, as an international player and whatever, like they haven't got years of Champions League football behind them and expectations to be playing in the top tier competitions, you know? Like, let's say the guys that have just recently left and Rodri is leaving and stuff like that. I reckon that Man City are buying young, talented players, highly priced, who will accept playing in 2 divisions down for a couple of seasons because they're going to get absolutely smoked. And if they don't get smoked, they still have these assets. But if they do get done, they have Wadi and Anderson and a few others like that they're buying at that kind of age with that profile that will play down in division and League One for a season, win it, the championship, win it, and come back up. You know what I mean? As opposed to guys with like massive reputations to protect. You know, Hallam will be gone. Anyone like that will be gone, but they'll have built a core of players that will be way too good and bring them back up and be Premier League ready when they're back after 2 seasons. That's why I think they're buying those ones anyway.
Yeah, John?
To link that then, if Haaland goes to Real Madrid, Mbappe moves to the left, and we could pick up Finney. It's all connected.
Yeah.
And the people involved in professional football know more than us. They know ahead of we do. So they know what's coming down the line. So Vinny's been shaken from the Real Madrid tree because something's probably in the Haaland to Madrid. It's coming. And you know Madrid line up people a year or two in advance. So Madrid wants Saliba. They really do. So Saliba, when he's 29, 30, his back is not going to be England ready. We'll want 100 million for him. They'll have somebody we want. That can be done. But it won't be done as a swap. It'll be done as 2 transfers so we can bank the money. But it's Saliba will eventually go to Madrid. But we will get a superstar in an area that will need one.
Yeah. We could be blooding the next superstar in Salmon, you know, ourselves. And because he does look a talented boy. You know, anything I've seen him, he looks like there's only going to go one way. You know what I mean?
I don't see it.
Yeah, maybe that's the deal for
physically.
Vinny. Yeah, that's right now, but we're not going to lose Saliba for 2 or 3 seasons.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a long term. Yeah, long term plan.
Long term.
Yeah. I just think if his back is not going to hold out to what we're going to ask him to do, unless we get in a third centre half to the same standard, and there we go rotating. You play the league on, you play the Champions League. No.
I'll ask you a question, lads, if you don't mind. Yeah. Opposing clubs have done a lot of business in the last couple of weeks. Anybody catch your eye? Anyone you think is going to actually, from the signings they've made, will improve dramatically this season and give the league a challenge? Maybe not like, you know, how we feel there. We think Arsenal will be top 2 again, right? But is there anyone that you think, because of the work they've done in the transfers, have changed their outlook completely for the season so far anyway?
Like, you're looking at Chelsea, and I'm not, but Rodgers is not the one for me. It's the fact that they're looking to bring in Welbeck and Jordan Henderson for experience, and they brought in Lacroix. But again, they're looking at them and going, goalkeeper-wise, they need a better goalkeeper than him because he's not good enough for me. No way. Then I look at, I said already, Spurs done their business early. I think they overpaid in all the players they bought, but that was their thing. They needed those players, and they felt we have to overpay for them. I think United done some good enough business, but again, defensively, they're not better than anything we have. Or like our second choice back four is better than their first choice. You know,
they gave
Newcastle
us 2 great games last year, though, to be fair to them.
I know,
I thought
but
they were like,
thing,
just as the games go, you know.
Yeah, but the first game, it was the first game of the season. You know, it was.
Old Trafford,
that's a hard place to go, Old Trafford away, especially Arsenal. Arsenal don't have a great record at Old Trafford anyway, and we still beat them. And then I just felt that the time we played at the Emirates, they had a game plan. We were leggy, and I felt this going into the game. We were leggy, and they had a game plan, played the game plan, beat us deservedly 3-2. You know, um,
Yeah,
Liverpool.
two rockets,
Liverpool haven't.
if I can recall.
Yeah, two great goals. Yeah, Liverpool haven't signed anyone. Just a defender, as I said last week.
They
He's
signed
looking
this
at.
guy, that little Spanish attacker as well.
Yeah, but like, is
Winger.
he? You know, is he going to come in? They're looking.
Remember his name now.
Munoz or Nunes or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah,
as well.
that's the one.
Is he the
Yeah.
ginger lad? Isn't he?
Yeah, he looks
Um,
Irish. Genuinely, I was like, signed a fella from a GA team.
He looks like he was
He
Rob
would have
Kelly
looked
or
out of
something.
place the other day playing for Mayo.
No.
Yeah.
I feel they're all chasing our squad. I really do. You know, like we said it all last year. Everyone said it. We've the strongest squad in the Premier League. They're trying to catch up to where our squad is. So we need to go again, next level. That's why 100%. We just need more. What do you think, John?
I do think.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's done anything spectacular. I don't like the Rodgers, the Chelsea is the only kind of one. Yeah, he's going to get you 15, 20 goals. I don't see anybody else because I don't know them. There's a guy gone for a load of money to, who was it? I don't know. They spent big bucks on him. Aston Villa bought a guy, Johan Van Zimby from Freiburg for nearly 16 million. Like, how was he worth 60 million?
He just
Because
like,
he had a good World
season last year for Freiburg. He did a good. They got to the final in the Conference League or the Europa League, wasn't it? Freiburg. That was a team
it was
that
a
Villa
Europa
beat.
League. Villa beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy price.
So they've seen him up first. They've seen him firsthand as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like
Crazy price.
you're looking at Villa. Villa have sold Tielemans and Rodgers, two key players for them last year as well. You know, and they're bringing in Garnacho. They brought in Joe Gomez from Wolves.
He could be an upgrade really on
Tielemans.
On Tielemans, yeah. Like physically, Tielemans is a fine player, but like he's not, like a box to box energy guy like Gomez is. Like I think that's a shrewd signing, that one. My take anyway, lads, is that like I think the signings, like I think Chelsea have made good signings. I think Spurs have made good signings and all that. But I think the real good signing is like it's Alonso. They've gotten a real manager. No, as opposed to like that last fella there from the In-Betweeners. And they have no European football, so I think they could be a threat with, and they have a big squad as it is. They'll have to scale that back, I suppose. But there'll be no issue with tiredness in them. So I think they could be threatening. And I don't think Spurs will be as bad as they were because of they just went out and bought much better players.
Yeah, they bought better players.
So I think Chelsea could be the dark horse.
Like Chelsea were like the way United were when Carrick were. They didn't have European midweek football. We're playing 3 games a week. They're playing 1 game a week. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and it's like it makes obviously a difference. Keeps the players fresher. But it's a tough one. I do feel that everyone's.
It can come with its own problems in the sense that it can come with its own problems in the sense that there's not enough games for everyone to stay. You'll have if you have your core 15 that play most of the games. That means anyone that isn't really getting involved, there's no conference football or midweek football or any of that for keep them ticking over when they're needed. So that could be the derailing thing, and then you'd have unhappy players as well. Say like if they got knocked out of cups early, they're definitely going to have issues.
You're on about sharpness there, kind of keeping them sharp, isn't
Sharp, yeah, as well. Yeah.
Match sharp as well, because like whereas we, for example, so Premier League game you can play Saka, and a different European game you can play Madueke, to keep him kind of sharp, freshen Saka a little bit or something like that, or like maybe take out Odegaard or Havertz and put in Gyökeres and Eze or Tunokan, whereas you're keeping them fresh and rotating like that. You're keeping them. That's what it's the thing that we need to do.
Will I throw something out there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Before we wrap up.
Yeah.
Jack Grealish is available off the left wing. Got him fit and motivated. Wouldn't be costly. What would be 30 million? His salary's huge, but it'd be 30 million. That was Everton were going to do it at that till he got injured.
Yeah.
He's getting fit.
I just feel there's baggage with him outside of his football. That's me. You often see him there and it's stuff on social media and fucking drunk or something like that, and I don't know.
He wouldn't
Never during the season, though. Never during the season.
Yeah, but
He'd have been a guy like you'd love to have seen a few years ago. But
How old is he? I don't think he's that old.
John.
Yeah.
I think he's 31. No?
I don't think he's that old. I just think if he's near fitness again, wouldn't it be worth a punt? Like if you don't get your superstar and it's 2 days to go to the window close and he's sitting there for 30 million and you're like, let's punt.
He's 30 years of age.
He's not as busted as Rashford, I suppose. Not Rashford.
Well, I would actually punt on Rashford as well. I'd take a punt on Rashford if we did not get our superstar. No, I hope we get our superstar. I hope it never happened. I'd be disgusted if we got this low. But instead of doing nothing, you take a punt on Rashford or Grealish. That's if Grealish is fit. I don't know where his fitness is. Rashford, I definitely would take a punt.
I'd be disappointed if it came to either of the two of them. That would be.
Rashford looked decent last year.
Yeah, he looked decent. He's playing over in Spain. Like you put Martinelli over there in that Barcelona team, he's going to be better than him again. I think.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't know. I'm just hoping in the next few days that we get an Ornstein bomb and somebody massive is coming to the club. And then on Wednesday when we're at the game, we get to see the Premier League trophy being walked out onto the pitch for the very first time. I don't think they're going to walk to the pitch and draw. I think it might be, they might wait to the Emirates actually. They mightn't do it at the Viva.
Yeah, you never know. Like, obviously, like there was Arteta done an interview with the Arsenal.com today, and he said like a lot is happening in the background. He has said a lot is happening, so which is we hope there is.
His quote is something along the lines of, "We want individual brilliance. We want the next level, guys. We're working on the next level up, fella." So exactly. He wasn't saying he's not talking about Grealish or Rashford. He's talking about
that's what I'm saying. I feel that, as Paul said earlier, we're shopping at the top table, not this label down here. You know what I mean? And it's not just coming from Arteta. It's coming from the top. It's coming from the board, the whole way down through the club. That they want to improve. They want to get better individuals. That's what it says. Better individuals. You know. They
no more Pablo Maris.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah, no one of them. Fucking
donkeys. And like they're hoping to get things done soon, but obviously there was frustration because you're dealing. John, you say this all the time. You're not just dealing with the player and the club. You're dealing with all the agents, all the finance, all this crap in the background as well. You know, and with Bruno Guimaraes. Yeah, and like with Bruno Guimaraes, you have Kia Jarabshin, do you know what I mean? So, like, he's trying to negotiate a deal with Newcastle on behalf of Guimaraes. You know?
Some of the best stuff you can see online is old ex-players talking about dealing with brain stuff, and he'd bring you into the office and he'd throw a blank paper on the table, sign the end of that. You know, it's
brilliant.
Or you want a club car, here, take a car. And it's his daughter's car, and you're taking over the payments of his daughter's car that she no longer wants, and he punching people in the throat. Go, why haven't you signed that contract?
I think one of the best ones was Mark Crosley. He said to me, "Come round my house on the Sunday morning and bring your gloves." When he went round his house, and he got him to play for his brother's Sunday league team, and they got fined for playing him, and he took it out of his wages then the following week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look, we need to get onto his Nigel there, bring him around. Nigel, we need you in the boardroom. We need some of this negotiation tactics from your dad. But I haven't said that. Look, I think something big has to come. All the hints are there. If Arteta doesn't waste word, when Arteta says something, he's thought about it. So if he's telling us something big's coming, Ornstein is telling us something big is working.
Yeah. I think that's where Ornstein's tweet comes into it, where he says it was discussed at all levels. So that's from the top of the club the whole way through. So they talked about it.
And then add in the fact Haaland's probably going to Madrid. Maybe not this summer, but he's definitely going. And that pushes Mbappe to the left, and that's Vinny out. If you put all those jigsaw puzzles together, you get happiness. Yeah. That's how you bake happiness.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And we've been in this position before as well, where we've won the league and not strengthened from a position as, like, I know we had the stadium thing that's where the last time we were champions and we were unbeaten, we couldn't kick on because we had that massive debt hanging over our heads, you know? And it took us 22 years to get back to the top, and we can't have that again. You know what I mean? I'm not one of these fans that I don't expect to win the league every year. You know, in some respects it would be boring, right? You do like the odd fallow year so that you appreciate the good years. But 22 fucking years is a bit too fucking long as fallow failures.
Yeah, but like you're talking about when we moved to Emirates 20 years ago, and then we were under that tight, like Wenger was the collateral alone. He was the collateral. His contract then was the collateral for part of the financing the stadium. And now we've never been financially better ever. Like we're signing huge shirt deals and stuff like biggest ever the club has ever had. You know, and we're talking about trying to bring in one of the best elite players in his position. It's what we have to do.
And like,
this shows how far we've
a
come.
World Cup just happened. Massive exposure to football again. It'll grow again. You know, the money will be there. The money will be there for the signings. So it's an opportunity to bake this club into the consciousness of the Americans, the South Americans. Imagine how many shirts we'd sell in Brazil if we sign either of them, Bruno or Vinny. You know what I mean? And if we sign both,
I agree. Bruno's going to be a huge signing.
Do you know how much Arsenal get per shirt? They get the 60 to 75 million. Now it's 60 at the moment. It's going to go to 75 million a year in 2 years. So that's 75 million a year here for having our shirt. Then for every shirt sold, Arsenal get £7.50. So if you tell Vinny you can have the £7.50 and we sell 1 million shirts, guess who's getting half his wages paid?
When Arsenal won the league, the next day, the store had the biggest revenue of shirt sales and stuff like since it opened, as far as I remember.
11 million.
Something like that. Yeah.
11 million in that day. But
it's fucking mad.
Yeah, but that's online as well. But it's what it is as well is on social media. Arsenal's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everything, all the rest of it. They put out a tweet, the official account, and it's seen 1 million times. So that makes a few £100. Then they do 5 tweets a day, and then over the week they're probably making a couple of thousand. But it's 100,000 to 200,000. But then they have ads in between that they're selling slots for. They do that across all their social media. So they're getting all the staff wages from just social media. So the people they're paying 40 to 50,000 a year, that's been covered by just social media. Never mind getting a sponsor. The Saka's wages are now eclipsed by his own personal sponsorship. He's got 17 brands. Saka earns over 500,000 per month on brand. It's a great. He could stop playing tomorrow. He's financially. He'll only leave Arsenal if he wants to. He won't leave for money.
Yeah,
he's getting. He's the highest paid player in the league now, not by wages, Haaland is, but by endorsement. It's incredible.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Like,
it's crazy.
It's mad. So, do we want to finish on that?
Yeah.
So, that's all from us this week. Episode of North Cork to North Bank. A huge thanks to the lads for joining me. Another great chat. A massive thank you to everyone who's listening and supporting the podcast. We really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow us on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, and you can also find us wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a rating, drop us a comment, and let us know what you think. Until next time, see you later.